In this video, we are going to talk about 10 dividend stocks to buy. So before starting this video, please like this video and subscribe to this channel for our future updates. Dividend stocks pay out a percentage of the company's earnings on a regular basis to shareholders. Most dividend stocks in the United States pay a specific amount each quarter, and the best ones raise their payouts over time, allowing investors to establish an annuity like cash flow. Number 10. KKR and AMP Company. Incorporated, NYSE, KKR. KKR and AMP Company, Inc., which trades on the New York Stock Exchange under the ticker symbol KKR, is a worldwide investment firm based in the United States that manages several asset classes via its strategic partners. It made the announcement that it will be increasing its quarterly dividend by 6.9%, bringing it to $0.155 per share. This brings its annual dividend to 62 cents per share. On May 26, it was recorded that the dividend yield of the stock was 1.23%. In its investor's note for the month of May, Deutsche Bank noted that it sees a buying opportunity in KKR and AMP Company. Incorporated, NYSE, KKR. The firm also set a price target of $79 on the stock and assigned a buy rating to the shares of the company. During the third quarter of 2018, Ariel Investments made an initial investment of about $161 million in KKR and AMP Company, Inc., thereby beginning its position in the company. The hedge fund boosted the percentage of the company in which it is invested by 11% during the first quarter of 2022. In the first quarter of 2022, Ariel Investments' largest holdings include not just KKR but also the Goldman Sachs Group Incorporated, Johnson & AMP, Johnson, and Microsoft Corporation. Number 9. Johnson & AMP, Johnson Corporation, NYSE J&J. Johnson & AMP, Johnson is an American multinational firm that is listed on the New York Stock Exchange under the ticker symbol J&J. The company primarily specializes in consumer health items and medical devices. The company said that its total revenues increased by 5% year over year, with operational growth of 7.7% in the results that it posted for the first quarter of 2022. The earnings per share of the corporation came in at $2.67, which was 10 cents more than the projections. In the first quarter of 2022, the number of hedge funds in the database that held interests in Johnson & AMP, Johnson remained the same at 83 as it was in the previous quarter. This represents a little increase from the value of stakes held by hedge funds in the fourth quarter of 2021, which was $7.3 billion. The total value of these stakes now exceeds $7.4 billion. A quarterly dividend of $1.13 per share was issued by Johnson & AMP, Johnson in April. This represents a 6.6% increase from the company's previous payout. This marked the 61st year in a row that the dividend has increased for the corporation. As of the 26th of May, the dividend yield on the stock was found to be at a level of 2.52%. SVB Leerink assumed its coverage on Johnson & AMP, Johnson in May and gave the stock an outperform rating along with a $200 price target. This was done because the firm was impressed with the company's sustained profit growth. In addition, the company stated that it anticipates expansion in the company's sales of medical products. At the conclusion of the first quarter of 2022, Ariel Investments held a total of around $137 million worth of shares in Johnson & AMP, Johnson, which accounted for 1.21% of John Rogers' portfolio. Number 8. Northern Trust Corporation, NASDAQ, NTRS. Since 2010, Ariel Investments has included Northern Trust Corporation in the portfolio of investments that it manages. When the hedge fund first invested in the company, it did so with shares having a value of more than $74.2 million. At the conclusion of the first quarter of 2022, the fund held a stake in Northern Trust Corporation worth a total of $241 million. This investment represented 2.13% of John Rogers' overall portfolio. The GAAP earnings per share that Northern Trust Corporation reported for the first quarter of 2022 were $1.77, which was 13 cents higher than the estimates that the market had been anticipating. The increase in sales over the previous year's comparable period of $1.72 billion represents an increase of 8.2% for the company. Northern Trust Corporation was assigned a buy rating and a price target of $116 per share by Deutsche Bank in the month of May. The firm made this determination after associating the company's outstanding quarterly performance with the rising interest rates. Northern Trust Corporation declared that it will continue to pay a quarterly dividend at the same rate of 70 cents per share as it did in the prior quarter. As of the 26th of May, the dividend yield on the stock was at a level of 2.6%. Number 7. The J.M. Smucker Company, NYSE, SJM. The J.M. Smucker Company is an American manufacturer of food goods that trade in consumer foods, pet foods, and coffee. It is publicly traded on the NYSE under the ticker symbol SJM. The dividend was increased by 10% in 2021, and it is now 99 cents per share. The corporation pays out the dividend on a quarterly basis. This marked the 20th year in a row that the corporation has increased its dividend payment. In addition, the J.M. Smucker Company has increased its dividend at a compound annual growth rate (CAGR) of 7% between the years 2016 and 2020. Ariel Investments had more than 1.2 million shares in the J.M. Smucker Company at the end of the first quarter of 2022, which were valued at more than $172.7 million. The investment portfolio of John Rogers included 1.53% of the corporation in question. Number 6. First American Financial Corporation, NYSE, FAF. Consumers in the United States can obtain comprehensive title insurance protection and expert settlement services from the First American Financial Corporation, which trades under the symbol FAF on the New York Stock Exchange. Since the beginning of the first quarter of 2011, Ariel Investments has been making investments in the company, initially commencing a position with shares worth more than $70.8 million. At the end of the first quarter of 2022, the hedge fund owned more than 4 million shares of the corporation, which had a combined value of over $266 million. The company comprised 2.35% of the total holdings in the 13F portfolio of the hedge fund. In the first quarter of 2022, John Rogers' portfolio included significant holdings in a variety of companies, including the Goldman Sachs Group, Johnson & Amp, Johnson, and Microsoft Corporation. Number 5. The Interpublic Group of Companies Incorporated, NYSE, IPG. The Interpublic Group of Companies Incorporated is a global provider of marketing solutions and an American advertising corporation. Its stock symbol on the New York Stock Exchange is IPG. Recently, the company bought a stake in the famous group in order to provide improved services to their existing customers and media partners. In the first quarter of 2022, the Interpublic Group of Companies Incorporated stated that its net revenue in the United States increased by 11.5%, while its net revenue worldwide increased by 10.2%. The number of hedge funds held by the Interpublic Group of Companies increased to 32 by the end of the first quarter of 2022, up from 24 at the end of the previous quarter. The value of these positions has consolidated to $650.4 million, which is an increase from the value of these stakes held by hedge funds in Q4 2021, which was $601.5 million. In the first quarter of 2022, Harris Associates was the most valuable shareholder of the corporation, holding interests worth more than $467.2 million. Number 4. Walgreens Boots Alliance Incorporated, NASDAQ, WBA. Walgreens Boots Alliance Incorporated, which trades mostly in pharmaceutical goods, is an Anglo-Swiss American corporation that is traded on the NASDAQ under the symbol WBA. At the end of the first quarter of 2022, Ariel Investments held interests in the company that was worth approximately $67 million, accounting for 0.59% of John Rogers' portfolio. Number 3. Philip Morris International Incorporated, NYSE, PM. Philip Morris International Incorporated, which trades under the ticker symbol PM on the New York Stock Exchange, is a global tobacco conglomerate that operates in more than 180 countries. The company reported earnings per share of $1.56 for the first quarter of 2022, which was 7 cents higher than what experts had anticipated. In addition, the company's total revenue of $7.7 billion represented an increase of 2.1% when compared to the previous year's total. The quarterly dividend paid by Philip Morris International was increased to $1.25 per share in 2021 after the company announced a 4.2% increase. Since the company's first public offering in 2008, it has increased its dividend payment each and every year. As of the close of trading on May 27, Walgreens Boots Alliance was offering shareholders a dividend payment of $0.4775 per share on a quarterly basis, resulting in a dividend yield of 4.5%. Number 2. Lazard Ltd., NYSE, LAZ. Lazard Ltd. is an American financial services firm that offers its customers banking, investment management, and a variety of other financial services. Its stock is traded on the New York Stock Exchange under the symbol LAZ. The corporation reported revenue of $700 million for the first quarter of 2022, representing an increase of 8% compared to the same time in the previous year. Number 1. Janus Henderson Group plc, NYSE, JHG. Janus Henderson Group plc, often known as JHG on the New York Stock Exchange, is a global asset management company based in the United Kingdom that provides a wide variety of financial services to its customers. The company stated that it will be increasing its quarterly dividend by 3%, bringing it to 39 cents per share. As of the 26th of May, the dividend yield on the stock was at a level of 5.81%. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from me again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go. Thanks for watching.